Hi, and welcome to the Boat Princess podcast. My name is Nikki Vo, and I'm your host. I'm a boat owner, a marinas owner, an international conference presenter, and a huge advocate for boating. I'm sharing the stories from every nook of the boating industry with the intention of encouraging more women to join me and for more women to get behind the helm too. I want to share the experience and opportunities of boating, of the boating industry, and I want you to join me as I bring the conversations and answer all the questions you've had. Boating is not just for the glamorous and rich and famous. It's full of beautiful and interesting people making the most of our natural environment and getting out there enjoying the waterways. So let's let off the lines, take over the helm, and escape to the world of boating. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Boat Princess podcast, and indeed the hospitality podcast for this one, because I think she's a woman that doesn't get enough credit. She is quite incredible. I know she kind of likes to keep her life private as well, but I've known her for a while, and she's a very special woman, a very generous, lovely, beautiful person. So, Sas Stein, welcome.
Thank you, Nikki. Thanks for asking. I feel very honoured. It's not something I normally do. I'm a publicist, so I like to be behind organising the scene. So thank you.
Now, does everybody call you Sas, or you Sarah at any point?
My mum does and my brother, but basically everyone else does. My dad named me, well, he used to just call me Sassy Darling. I don't think he ever called me Sarah. And it is actually, technically it is a nickname for Sarah. So, yeah, I'm always Sas.
Wonderful. So, just to explain to the listeners, those that don't know Sas, she is the wife of Rick Stein, who, of course, is a chef that is very well known in the UK and around the world for his TV shows and his restaurants and so on and so forth. But Sas is actually the woman behind the man. And you actually met through working together with your PR work with him, didn't you?
Yeah, I met him in 1997, and I used to run do all the marketing and the PR for ACP, which was called at the time, and in the magazines and all the events like Clio Bachelor of the Year, Dolly model things. And I've always had a big interest in food. And so Gourmet Traveller was my favourite mag that I worked on, and I had a really tough job of Restaurant of the Year, which I organised the event, and I had to go with the judge for 3 weeks around Australia, tasting all the food.
Oh, you poor thing. How did you cope with that?
It was pretty hard. So what happened was, it's quite a funny story. So what happened was, Rick wasn't really known at the time. He'd done 2 TV shows, but no one really knew him in Australia. They sort of knew him in the UK, but not like now. And initially we asked Simon Hopkinson, I don't know, Hoppy, who is actually a really good friend of ours, and he said, yes, love to do it. And then last minute pulled out because he just said, Sas, I'm really sorry, I can't do the public speaking. I just can't do it. So that was a bit tricky because we'd sort of planned it all and whatever. So then Charlie Lockhart, who was my boss, had been to the seafood with her husband, had I think 1-2 glasses of wine, and just loved the restaurant and loved Rick. So she said, okay, I've got it, we're going to have Rick Stein. And I never heard of him, and so I had to, it was, the old day when you had the VHS. So I was just thinking, this guy is going to be hopeless because he's like orcs and he's, I don't know, I just thought wrong because the previous year I had done the Restaurant of the Year with Robert Carrier, who was, really, really flamboyant, funny, wonderful guy. And we had such fun. I mean, he was like an actor. He was brilliant. And then I'm thinking we're going to have this little orcs person. So I wasn't really happy with the choice, but obviously Charlie was my boss, so I had to do it. So it was before the internet, so he just sort of kept ringing me up to sort of find, because he'd never done anything like it before. So he was trying to, find out what he had to do. And I was so busy because I had so many events at the time. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't have time. And I said to my PA, literally, you've got to talk to him, because he was asking me things like, what clothes do I bring? I'm thinking, as if I care. So then we eventually met, and I'm always friendly, but I'm also professional. And I was thinking, still really hesitant. I'm thinking, oh, I don't know if this is going to work. And so he remembers it, and he said something like, what time do I meet you tomorrow? And I said, I've already told you, meet you at 7:45, don't be late. And so he always remembers that. Anyway, what happened was we met up in the morning. We had to fly to Brisbane. Chat, because I'm quite keen on a chat, and he's not really a chatter. And we were just talking about, he said, have you got a family? And I've come from a huge, really close family, and I'm telling him stories about my dad. And he's thinking, oh, I think this girl's Jack's crackers. Anyway, we just hit it off, because I think we came from similar families. He's a big reader. Love reading. He loves music. And we got on well. And then we did we toured around, and then he met my dad. My dad happened to be out from Indonesia, and they got on like a house on fire. And then we sort of kept in contact, and then he had an association with Australia already. He'd first came to Australia when he was 19, so he used to shut the restaurant for 6 months a year, the early days, and him and his family would come out to Australia maybe every second year for Christmas and stuff. So he already knew some people in Australia, and then we just kept the friendship up. And then I'd come over to England for a bit of work, and then he'd come, and then we just, for better or for worse, realised that we were in love. So five years later, we were together. So
amazing. And it was a real deep fall for him.
Yeah.
So, Gourmet Traveller.
Yes.
Still running today. Brilliant magazine. One of my faves, actually.
It is.
I love
here.
Gourmet Traveller.
Same here.
Yeah. How did you get into the publishing world? How did your career start? What was your education? All those sorts of things.
Okay, so I left school and I went, it was called Ryde Catering College. And so I studied, it was called Catering Supervisors. So I sort of literally would go to a restaurant with my dad virtually every day of my life. I learned to read really in restaurants. My dad just would eat out every day, even though my mum's a great cook. So I just love restaurants, and I loved hospitality from when I was a little girl, because I didn't really know anything different. I just thought that's what you do. You eat out every day. Very lucky. And so when I was leaving school, I didn't know what to do. I wasn't that great at school. I was very good at socialising, not necessarily very good at getting educated, but I've still got the same friends from when I was 5 from school, which is great. So I did catering, and I loved it. And I worked at, it was called the Region at the time in the city.
Oh, yes.
I worked there and did housekeeping, turned down. I did a bit of night auditing. I don't know how that worked, because I'm not really good at mathematics, but anyway. And then I worked in the supper club, and I loved it. I met really nice friends there. I met my ex-boyfriend there, who's still one of my best friends today. I loved it. It was a bit of theatre every day. We had, in banqueting, I really enjoyed, because we had this crazy chef. Like, he was thinking about it now. He's nuts, and he wouldn't get away with what he used to do. He used to, lock us in freezers and stuff just before service. Like, he was just really nuts. But it was just the whole when you're about to do service and you're all you're just anticipating I was going to call it the audience, who the guests are.
Yeah.
I just love that whole. And then you're out in the kitchen, and then you're commenting on the guests, and then if it's a really busy night, it's stressful, but it's even better, because when you finish, you can have a few drinks after work, and you can go. I'll still get excited about that.
Yeah.
So I did that, but then it was quite unsociable hours. So I basically only sort of hung out with the people I worked at, which was nice, but then I didn't sort of see my other friends or my family or whatever. And so my family was sort of a bit involved in a stockbroking company. So I then did a bit of a change and went and worked there, which was much better paid, much more social hours, and it was in the 80s. So
Oh, the 80s and stockbroking. What a combination.
it was so much fun. Like
Yeah.
literally my boss, Tony, would go on a Friday. He'd go, okay, Sas, that's it. Put your pen down. And we'd go for lunch for like a 12-hour. I mean, I just was so lucky. But my dad would say, Sas, I'm not trying to take away from the joy of it, but this is not the real world. So, of course, the company folded. And then I stayed in finance for a bit, but I just didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't me. So then when I was 27, I went and studied communications, and I was very lucky. I got a sort of traineeship at ACP, and then when I finished, they offered me a job, which was brilliant. And I remember the first day I started, total disaster, because my boss sort of neglected to tell me that there was two phones. So there was a normal phone and there was a red phone. And I don't know about you, but I was always brought up, if a phone rings, you pick it up. So I picked it up, the red phone. Little did I know it was the phone for KP, for Kerry Packer.
Yeah.
So it was after my boss, and I just went, I can't really say because it was quite sweary. So then I was just wanted to cry. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get sacked and whatever. But anyway, it was all fine, and I loved it. I just loved that job so much. We had such fun. Every day was different. I met fantastic people. I was so spoiled. I got, Premier. I was just, it was
An incredible time.
yeah, really. I worked really hard, but yeah, the opportunities, and still to this day I see people, and it was fantastic. It was sort of a bit of a education for life, because it was when magazines were just at a really good stage, like it was just fun times, really fun times.
And it was a stage when also, I mean, Kerry Packer was a character to work for, right? To explain to the listeners, ACP was a big company which was a group of all the different magazines and papers that were issued in Australia at the time. And he was a real character. But he also brought some incredible women up in the industry and made them editors. And it was a time that women did start to change from just being the secretary and moving to really strong positions in that industry.
Well, it was like Nene King. Do you remember Nene King with the Woman's Week? I mean, she was a bit scary too. But it was, you're totally right. And there was Don Swan. There was some really, really fantastic women, and Charlie Lockhart, Carolyn Lockhart, I don't know if you're familiar with her. She was my boss, and she was like a mentor to me. She was fantastic, and she worked in several magazines and turned them around. And there was a real girl power actually when I was there. And Richard Walsh, who was a publisher, he was so supportive of women. He really was. He was ahead of his time. He was fantastic. So yeah, I was really, really, really lucky at ACP. And like, looking back now, I think, wow, I don't know how I did that job, but you're young and you don't know anything, you just do it.
Yeah. And what was your role there?
So I was PR manager and also events manager. So
Oh, that's full on.
I know, it was a big job. I couldn't do it. But it was a lot of fun. But I had, great people working with us, and just incredible experiences. But then I remember, like, it wasn't all glamour, as you would know. I mean, everything, like I remember I'd done this beautiful, beautiful party for Cosmopolitan, and it was in Harry Seidler's apartment in McMahon's Point, and it was just, it all looked exquisite. There was all the glamour people there. And then everyone went, and I was there by myself. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. I was exhausted, and I was just like, getting all like boxes, vase, just having to load everything in my car by myself in my glamour dress. And I thought, this is, the downside of a beautiful event. But it was good. So I worked in magazines, and I had my son, and then I had my daughter, and you couldn't do the job I was doing and have two young kids like that. So then that's when I went over to book publishing and got a job at Allen and Unwin, which was just a joy. Yeah. Like, I still when I'm back in Sydney, I drive past where my old office, and it just fills me with happiness. We had such lovely people and authors who I'm still friends with, and that was a pure joy working at that place. Yeah.
So explain to the listeners that aren't in that world what that role sort of involves. So you're a publisher.
Yeah. Oh no, I was in the publicity side. Yeah. So what would happen is we would say, for example, if you published a book, I would speak to the author, and we'd have meetings and with the marketing team, and I'd write the media release. I would send it all to all the media outlets about the book. I would hope that the author was good talent, because quite often authors are introverted, and that's why they're authors. So they don't like public speaking or speaking to people. So that was always could be a little bit interesting.
Yeah, tricky.
And then we'd go to book festivals. So I'd take them at the time. The Adelaide Writers Festival was fantastic. I mean, it was just the best. I was just in heaven to be there for a week. It was again hard work, but the people that you met was extraordinary. They all the fun parties at the night in the nighttime, people misbehaving. Yeah, it was good. So you would be promoting the author, and they would build up really sort of strong friendships, because a lot of them were literally just used to being at home writing. So they were really nervous and apprehensive about going out to the big world, and if they wrote a good book or were known, they would be dealing with hundreds of people each day, which was not in their sort of comfort set. So I'd sort of be basically like their, I don't know, nanny.
Support system.
Yeah. But yeah, I loved it. I loved doing that, and I just like people and I like chatting, so it worked well. So that was good. And then I did that for quite a few years for quite a few publishers. But then what happened was with Rick and I, because I was based in Sydney, he was based in the UK. Neither of us could move to each other's country. Also had young children. So I then basically had to work for myself. So
just to backtrack on that for just a minute,
Yeah.
because you and I have a reverse version, right?
Oh, really?
So you are Australian and married a guy from the UK.
Yeah.
I am UK and married a guy from Australia.
Oh.
And I don't think either of us would have realised because we're totally in love and we marry this person, and we don't really think about what that does to our future. And it's actually quite complex.
Very much so.
Yeah. And I think I went into it quite naively, really. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I had an amazing life because of it.
Yes, yeah.
But it's interesting, because I don't know about you, but I feel every time I leave Australia to come to England, it's lovely to see everybody. But when I leave England again, I feel like I'm torn to go back to Australia again. Do you feel that too?
I'm always saying goodbye.
Yeah.
I'm always saying goodbye to someone, and people will always say to me, which country would you like to live in? I go, well, both. And I'm very lucky because of work I get to live in both countries, because I love both. I mean, I still call, corny as it sounds, I still call Australia home, because that is my home, and that's where I was brought up, and majority of my family are, and really good friends. But then as soon as I arrive back in Heathrow Airport, I'm like, I'm home. I feel excited, and especially I'm very lucky. Again, I live in London and in Cornwall, so Cornwall's got the beautiful beaches, and I'm a big walker and I like swimming, so I do realise how lucky I am. But yeah, I didn't realise with you, but yeah, it is. Yeah. I'm just forever feeling like I'm going, saying goodbye, and also too, relatives are getting older, and you think, will I see them again? And I don't know, and you just get into a groove, and then you've got to uproot. But
yes,
anyway.
yeah, and I sometimes feel like I'm in between being here whilst I'm there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. There are a few of us. So yeah, it is tricky, but aren't we lucky girls?
Well, we are so lucky. I mean, and we have both of us have a magnificent life.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no denying that. I know part of that life for you involves some places in Australia that I know and love as well. So you've said you've had to go into working for yourself.
Yeah.
Is that how you ended up being part of the Rick Stein world, or how did that help?
Because I'm like a trained publicist, so then I would do work for Rick, and then he was doing a program out in Australia. So I was like the sort of fixer, get the talent and do the running around and make the coffee, whatever. So I started doing that, and then I would do all his publicity for his like books and programs and stuff. And then I sort of just became really like his manager, I suppose. I mean, he's got a fantastic literary agent, Barbara, who he's had for forever. But I would sort of just do the other stuff. So that's sort of how we started working together. We did have a little cupcake business for a little bit.
I remember that because I remember a friend on the Northern Beaches telling me, she said,
I know.
I've just had Rick Stein turn up at my door with some cupcakes.
Was that your friend?
Yeah.
What? Oh my God, that's such a small. Oh my God, that's such a small.
Yeah, it was one of the mums from the primary school that my boys went to. That we all went to the same primary. They went off to the primary school.
Oh mate,
and she came to school sort of saying, surreal. I open the door and there's Rick Stein with cupcakes in his hands. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's Rick Stein.
Oh, I have to tell him, we were, our van driver he was sick that morning. So I said to Rick, you have to do it, sorry. That is so funny.
Yeah.
So we had that for a while, but I think we were just a bit ahead of our time. We had, we didn't have sort of a shop as such. We would have done it so differently. We would have had anyway. We did that. They were really, really good cupcakes.
I imagine they were.
I know, they were seriously good cupcakes. So we had that. So that didn't really work. But anyway, you live and learn, don't you?
But you may have started a trend.
Yeah.
Because the cupcake shops suddenly started appearing, didn't they, at that time?
I know. Rick always said that we were a bit of ahead of our game. So we did that, and then it was just I suppose a manager's role, which I still do now. I will work out if he's going to do a food festival or not, or if he doesn't really do endorsements, but I get all the proposals and go through them, and then what happened was in 2009. I remember it well. I'd been going to Mollymook basically since I was about 10 or something due to my auntie. So I loved Mollymook, and there's a place called Bannisters. It's a hotel.
No, well,
bit of an institution down there. Anyway, through my family, I knew this man called Peter Cosgrove, and
which is not the one that was the governor, by the way.
Everyone
it's a different Peter Cosgrove.
Yeah, a bit different. And long story short, but he bought Bannisters, and he was very visionary, and he just transformed it, like spent a lot of money, but started. It's amazing what he did. Well, if you know it, it was well, fun enough.
Yeah. So my husband used to go to Mollymook as a child, just like you, because his parents were in Caringbah and they had a holiday house in Mollymook. So just like you, a lot of his childhood holidays were spent in Mollymook.
Wow.
So he remembers it as a really basic, incredible position on the headland there, but a pretty basic motel when he was a kid.
Yeah,
and then Peter took it over and turned it into this fabulous place.
Unbelievable. So what happened was that Peter rang me and said, "Oh, do you he'd met with Rick a few times through my relatives," and he said, can I ring up Rick and I want to see if he knows any chefs, because his chef had walked out or whatever. I went, sure. So rang Rick, and it's just one of those things, when things are meant to be. And Rick said, you know what? He said, I actually think I do know a chef, because his name is Jeweler, and he said he's just left me. He's a really good chef, and I actually don't want him working in any restaurants near my restaurants in Padstow. So maybe he might like to come to Australia. Anyway, sure enough, Julia was like, "Yeah, sure. The land of home and away. I'm going." So he arrived, and then we were just like, "Well, why don't we become business, partners?" So that's sort of how it came about, and it was a great relationship. And then it was good. It was great for me because I did all the PR side, the stuff with the staffing, and obviously I knew Mollymook really well. And I had, I'd worked in a hotel, so it all sort of just came together. And then, so that
Well,
was...
you've got the food and beverage experience from the very beginning of your career as well, haven't you? So you're combining the whole thing now.
Yeah, so that was great fun. So that was 2009, and then we bought a house in partnership with Peter, which we still have, which is just down the road.
Down the road from my house.
Oh, it's just so spooky, all that, isn't it?
Well, I've got to tell you a story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we came to one of your fabulous dinners in 2016.
Okay. Yeah.
And you were there, and there's a couple of stories I've got to tell you about this one. But Rick got up and he said in his speech, which he's so wonderfully humble in his speeches, but he got up and he said, so I had to do this interview on the internet about, Mollymook and what I like about it and all that sort of thing. Apparently that's what I've got to do now. I've got to go on the internet, he said. And they asked me, what do I love about Mollymook? And I sort of said, well, what's not to like? You know, this place is absolutely beautiful. It's amazing. It's an incredible place. Apparently it's cold, which to an Englishman is really bizarre. But I nudged Darren, because we were looking at investing in a property at the time, and I nudged Darren and said, we have to buy a house now before that goes on the internet.
Oh,
in
wow.
Mollymook. And because he was a Mollymook child holiday, he went, sure. So that's what we did.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. That's a really nice story. So what street's your...
We're in Bellbird.
Oh.
Yeah, just literally around the corner from you.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So you're near... I love that. It sort of reminds me of a scene out of Neighbours. Yes. Don't you think?
Yes, that little cul-de-sac is exactly like a scene out of Neighbours, isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, there's so many...
there's so many parallels.
So Richard, our really good friends, Richard Glover and Deborah, have got a house. So just so near you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. It's great. Amazing. That's so cool. That's so cool. Yeah, no, those Mollymook events are great. We just had, we were back in August and we just did one in Mollymook and one in Port Stephens. They're such a nice night. Like, it's really nice for us to sort of meet Rick's fans and fans of Bannisters, and all the staff love it because August is normally quite quiet, so they all get revved up, and it's one of my favourite nights of the year. I love them. It's really good. And then the next day we do a demo or something, and just the people, just the joy they get from Rick. It's just, and the stories they tell. And I was in tears with this woman the other day. She's just telling me about how Rick had sort of saved her. And I was thinking, oh, that's so beautiful. Wow. And this one guy was sort of hyperventilating because he was so excited to meet Rick. And as my brother always says, he's just a dag. Like, he's a dag, you know. And
he's awesome.
Yeah. But it's things like that I really like. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
I went to another event. I think it was a Veuve Clicquot champagne night you did.
Yeah.
And I took my mum and dad to it as my mum, a gift to my mum for her birthday.
That's nice.
I think, because they adore Rick as well. And I remember coming up to, because I wanted to chat with you.
Yeah.
So I came and sat next to you on the head table and chatting away with you, you know, and Rick comes back to the table.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise I'm sitting in Rick's seat.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm chatting with you, and I just want to have a chat with you. And then I go back to the table with Mum and Dad, and Dad goes, you sat in Rick's chair. You realise you sat in Rick's chair? And I went, oh, he doesn't mind. He's lovely.
He wouldn't mind it, and he'd be thinking, I'll get about 10 minutes apiece of not chatting away to me. Oh, no, he doesn't worry about things like that. He's very good.
And that's my point. You both are incredibly humble.
Oh, you're nice.
And you're such lovely, lovely souls, both of you.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Oh, no, thank you. No, we really do enjoy working together. We're really lucky because, you know, a lot of people go, oh, my God, you do everything together. I go, yeah, aren't I lucky?
Yeah.
So, it works well. I think we've got very different, I hate the word, but, you know, skill sets. So it's sort of it works, it blends well.
Yeah. So you've opened a restaurant in Mollymook. You're heavily involved in that at the time.
Yes.
How involved in that were you?
Oh, it was like my baby because especially growing up in Mollymook. I mean, Rick, I remember when we first drove down together to Mollymook, and I just said, I was giving him a bit of a lecture in the car, and I said to him, if you don't like Mollymook, there's no future. And fortunately he did. it's a bit hard not to like Mollymook. And he said when we were driving down, because it's such a beautiful drive down there, as you would know well, and it sort of reminds him of parts of Cornwall. So, you know, and he loves the beach and everything. So it's, you know, and people are very respectful to him, and he loves it almost as much as I love it now too. And I think having a house down there where he can just go and chill out, and it's a very special part for us. So I did all. So it was very much my baby. I was involved in like the interiors, even involved in some of the staffing, all the PR side of it, the events, which I still am to this day. Yeah, it is my little baby with my husband's name on the front door.
Yeah. And then you opened a restaurant in Port Stephens.
We did. That again was with Peter, who's just so clever. He really so clever with hotels. And he did that, and it was funny because when we were driving up there, that it was a horrible, horrible, mean, rainy day, and Rick was like, look, I'm really not interested in this. I've got too much on or whatever. And I said, well, let's just see it. If we don't want to do it, we won't do it. And I don't know if you're familiar with Port Stephens, but parts of it is a really ugly drive. So he said, as you would say, Sas, this is a sign. This is so ugly. Like, why would people want to? And I said, just wait. And I'm always sort of an optimist, but the day was so horrible. We couldn't see any of the views, whatever. So he wasn't impressed. And also, again, it was one of those daggy old buildings.
Motels.
Yeah. But I said, Peter, look what Peter did to, Mollymook. He'll do the same, which of course he did. Yeah. So eventually it took a little bit of persuading, but he said yes. And it's been fantastic. I mean, have you been there?
I have been there, and there's another story there for you.
Oh, my God, it's hilarious. Oh, my God, you're hilarious.
My nephew was your sous chef for a little while.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my
David.
God, there's like...
Yeah.
This is like, oh, my God, next minute we're going to find out we're relatives. I've got a lot of them, so you may well...
Yeah,
wow.
my nephew, he's now in America, but he worked for you for a little while, and I took my girlfriends there.
Yeah.
We were driving up to Queensland by memory, so we stopped there as a stopover. And I said to David, listen, the best thing about going to a restaurant like this is to ask the chef to give you what you think you should have.
Yeah, yes.
Because often you choose something on your based on your taste, and then you see the person's next door and you say, oh, I wish I'd ordered that. You do that, don't you?
Totally.
So I said, what I'd love you to do is give us a little taster of all the best dishes you do in each course to all the girls. There's only 4 of us, so that we get a real picture of the best dishes on the menu kind of thing. So he did that. And it was one of the best meals I've ever had because, you know how you spend time choosing and therefore you miss out on conversation and all that sort of thing. Yeah. When the chef chooses it for you.
Couldn't agree more.
It's such a good experience.
I know.
Yeah.
I love my food, but I can't eat a lot at the one time. But I always want to try everything. So I love when I go with girlfriends or whatever, or my family, and we do that. You do exactly that, and then you get. Otherwise, it's nothing worse when you get food envy and you think, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So we had the most exquisite meal. It was absolutely delicious.
So they're quite different. So they're quite different, aren't they?
Very different.
Yeah, they've got a sort of. I always say it's a bit like siblings. They're related, but they're different personalities. And I love the actual space in Port Stephens. It's got a beautiful high ceilings. It's a lot bigger restaurant. Not saying I don't like Mollymook. Mollymook's more cozy. Yeah. I like the contrast with the two of them. It's good.
Yeah, Port Stephens feels sort of more modern and more like it's a really good restaurant that you're going to. Mollymook feels more like home.
Yeah, that's good. Actually, that's a good summary. Yeah, that's actually a really good summary. I think because of the high ceilings of Port Stephens, you sort of think I need to be a bit more dressy than you do in Mollymook. But both have got lovely views, which is a plus.
Yes, yeah,
and light. I'm a big thing about light and lighting, and they've done great jobs.
The lighting in the Port Stephens restaurant actually is fantastic. It's really good.
Yeah, really, really, really special. So that's
But Mollymook, I mean, we have our house around the corner.
Yeah, like literally,
And
like 2 minutes from our restaurant.
Literally 4-minute walk. We've got a site called Venus Getaways. We do girls' getaways, and you can stay there. And my take is always the reason we bought this house is because it's a 4-minute walk to Rick Stone's. So, and it makes us feel, as Darren, my husband, loves England as well.
Yeah,
it makes us feel like we go to a little bit of England.
Yes.
Every time we go there, and because it's like lovely, warm, cozy feel that lots of English restaurants have.
Yes, know what you mean, and the fireplace and everything.
And they greet us like we're family, So it's
good.
It's gorgeous.
Oh, no, I know what you mean. I know when we do get a lot of English visitors, and they do feel, they've said what you've said too. Yeah, it's like, and I love it. I love it in winter just as much as in summer. It's a different feel, but both of them are really nice.
Absolutely,
really nice.
Okay, so you're heavily involved in getting Port Stephens set up as well, presumably.
Yes. Yeah. And that was another fun project. And again, the interiors, the PR, we had a really, really fun opening party and weekend, and that was brilliant. That was I loved that. Yeah, so so it's sort of like you said before, it's sort of bringing my food and bev background, my PR background, and my sort of finance it sort of all merges together, which is quite handy, really.
Well, it's amazing that you've got such an incredible skill set to do it all. You've really got all the goods, haven't you?
Yeah, it was funny because I was this guy I've known for a long time, and the other day, and he had no idea that I worked in finance. And he just couldn't stop laughing. He just said, "I can't imagine you." I said, "I know." I said, "I did it for quite a few years, but there you go." Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I think I always say to my children, I think the more experience you can get, the better it is. It doesn't really matter what you're doing. It just work hard and get experience. So,
because you learn so much from doing completely different roles, and then
totally
you are a perfect example that you've brought all of those together.
Yeah.
Now.
No, they're good. And they're good.
So the exciting news for those, let's just talk about a business you do already have before we go into the excitement of the new business that's coming up.
Sure.
Padstow Booksellers. Is that because you just love publishing?
Yeah, I love, ever since I was a little girl, I spent my first pocket money on a book, and I've been the biggest reader ever since. Even though I'm a very extroverted, loud party person, I love nothing more than reading a book. I always have about 3 different books on the go, and also I'm a big walker, so I've always also got a audio on the go, so it can always be a bit confusing, but there you go. So what happened was Rick had known this guy called Ron Johns for years and years and years, and he's he's actually also a publisher. He does fantastic published books. He wanted to open a bookshop in Padstow, and Rick was like, "Oh, okay, so that's not really what I was thinking of doing." And then he said, "Well, maybe you might want to get involved at Sas." And I still get quite emotional because as a little girl, when people say, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to have a bookshop." And so when it happened, it was just the best. And it's so cute. It's really quaint. It's actually been in a movie because it does look like, if you envisage a bookshop, it does, old-fashioned. So we're in partnership with Ron and his son, and we have lovely people working there. We have lovely customers, regulars. We have, 3 generations coming in together. It's really nice. It's really nice. So I love it.
I think bookshops are incredibly special.
They are.
And it's so sad that we've lost so many.
I know.
And I hope that we don't lose any more, because I think they are a very special place to go.
They sure are. And I don't know, when I don't work there that often, but when I do, I just love it because people don't really know who I am. And so I'm just there, and it's just funny, all the little bits and pieces you hear, and it's one of my favourite things. Yeah. I love it. And I love how supportive our clients. They're really supportive. They're really, like, during COVID and stuff. I'm very appreciative of them. Yeah, so, it's good.
It's interesting that you say not many people know who I am. Have you done that on purpose?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just me. I'm just, you know what I mean? Yeah, I am married to someone who's very clever and famous, but I'm not married to him because of that. I'm married to him because I love him, and you know, we get on and whatever. So I like sort of, I don't know, I'm very inquisitive about people, and I like just hearing about people and just them not really knowing about me. So yeah, I like to just try and, you know, what is it? Just go bit incognito, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That would explain why you seem to have an extraordinary number of friends. And from a very long time ago as well. Some very beautiful, loyal friends that have been your friends for a very long time.
Some since I was 3.
There you go. And I think that's because you take a genuine interest in them, because that's what friendship is about. That's what a good friend does, right?
Yeah. I'm very, very lucky. Someone asked me the other day what my hobby was, and I says, I think it's friends. It's just, I'm so lucky with my friends. I've got such long-term friends, but then also I've got, when you were talking about leaving people, because I've got a really close group of friends here in the UK, because just before COVID I'm quite weather affected, and it was just really miserable, and I was like, oh, I just want to go home. I just want to go back to Australia. I've had enough, blah, blah, blah. I thought, no, you're not. You're going to start another little friendship group. So what I did was I sent out a WhatsApp to nine girls that I knew through various things. None of them knew. I was the only one who knew all of them. And then we started a ladies who don't lunch club, because I don't actually go, believe it or not, I don't actually go to lunch that often. And if I go, I want it to be a serious lunch. So I didn't know how many would come. And we have been best friends forever, because what happened was then COVID happened, and so you weren't seeing anyone. So we were doing this WhatsApp group, like it was just like a lifeline to each other. We've gone on holidays together. Fortunately, the ones who have partners, all our partners love each other, and it's just been the best. It's just literally, if I've got a query about, I don't know, my thinking about what shampoo for my hair or something, they're the most giving, kindest girls. So I'm really grateful I have those UK girls, because I've got such a good group of friends in Australia. So it's really, and I love too when they meet each other. So, because you know, Aussies love to travel. So a lot of my Aussie mates have come over and they've met up, and they just said, oh, we're so happy you've got such a good group. And my mum's come over quite a few times and she knows them well. So yeah, it's been really, really nice. Yeah. And it's also handy that they love food, because a few of those partners are also chefs. So we get quite spoiled if we go to each other's house, because the husband's normally cook, which is nice.
Yeah. Oh,
so
wonderful.
Yeah.
But friends, I mean, they say, don't they, that a good friendship group keeps you healthier as well.
Oh, totally. Like I don't know. I think everyone's different, but I love my friends. I'd do anything for my friends. Also, of course, with my family. But yeah, I've just always had, I don't know, we've always entertained. We've always been lucky enough to have people over. And it's nothing nicer for me to have a dinner party. I mean, it's quite handy because Rick can cook and I can just do stuff. And I just love my friends meeting my other friends. It gives me great, I don't know, it's just such a nice feeling. It's you know, and then they'll go, oh, we're going to do such and such as someone. I think, oh, that makes me happy. I mean, I did it last night. I just introduced some more people and they were both texting me today and going, oh, do you mind if I contact them? I said, no, I'd love you to. It's good.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's part of your generous soul that you are.
Don't know about that.
No, you are. Talking of which, do you never get invited to dinner parties because they feel the pressure is too great because Rick's done such a great job when they invited you?
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you should say that. No, we don't. Like, people that really know us don't care because they know that Rick would eat anything. You know what I mean? He's just so grateful. But yeah, you are right, actually. And I do think it is that. And I must say, I mean, I'm a terrible cook. Oh, my God. Anyway, my poor children. But when Rick had a heart operation like 3 years ago, and he came home and obviously couldn't cook.
Yeah.
So I had to cook. And I can't tell you how nervous I was. And it was my husband. And I'm thinking, it made me appreciate when people get so nervous, because when people say to me, oh, having you and Rick over, I said, oh, don't be serious. You know, he wouldn't care. I don't care. And then he so loved my food, and I just thought he was just being polite, but he had 4 serves of it, and he just said, you cooked it with such love. And I said, I was so nervous. He said, serious. So it gave me a sort of an idea of how other people do. But yeah, once people, if they're really good friends of us, they don't mind. And our really good friends, Richard Glover and Deborah Oswald, are both really, really good cooks. And we go to their house all the time. And what I think is hilarious, they basically cook Rick's recipes. I mean, who is going to do that? That is just brilliant.
It's fantastic.
And then even Richard did he said to Rick, oh, Rick, I think it was a lasagna, but he said, I've just changed it a bit. That takes guts.
Yeah, it really does.
That takes real guts.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's fun. But that shows how deep the friendship is too. It's lovely.
Yeah. So I do think it's
and it shows what Rick's like too, because he would, enjoy that fact.
Oh,
rather
he loves
than,
it.
Yeah.
He loves it. He thinks it's fantastic. Yeah. No, we do. We do like getting invited to people's houses.
Yeah, I remember that Rick having his heart surgery because you and I happened to run into each other in Chelsea. Didn't we?
Yes.
And poor thing, you were.
Oh no.
You were. Yeah, that was a terrible time for you. Is he okay now?
Oh, he's fine. He's fine. He had it's amazing. He was up 4 days later, like normally. He had a valve, replaced, and he's fitter than anything. But yeah, it was scary at the time because you just don't know. But we had a fantastic surgeon, and it was all good. And the hospital was brilliant. Yeah, no, I remember I was like, I was here, but I wasn't here. But it was he's healthier than ever.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
But it's amazing, you looked fabulous in that, because I saw your skirt first.
Oh, really? Oh, God, I got no idea.
You
my
had
God.
the most amazing outfit on walking through Chelsea. And I noticed the skirt. I thought, that's absolutely fantastic. And then I looked up and realised it was you.
Oh,
and
that's
went,
hilarious. Oh, my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
So despite the whirlwind of trauma that you were in, really, you still looked amazing.
Yeah, no, I always try and wear happy clothes. And I think especially if you're going to something like a hospital, you don't want to wear depressing black, do you?
No, absolutely not. So you've got an exciting project coming up.
Very, very.
Very exciting. And we have a place in Bondi Junction as well, so I'm pretty happy about it.
Oh, my God, you're hilarious. This is just so funny. Oh my God, that is just too funny.
Yeah, so you're very kindly opening up a restaurant for us.
Well, you couldn't be closer.
No, in Coogee.
Yes.
Which is an amazing part of the world. I actually prefer Coogee to Bondi. I think it's much more the local space than the tourist space, isn't it?
Couldn't agree more.
So is that why you picked Coogee, or did this particular property just come up?
No, this just happened by accident again. So what happened was Peter, our ex-business partner, he sold to a fantastic group called the Salter Brothers, who are actually 2 brothers. And they own lots of things. They own finance companies, they own hotels, they own restaurants. And so that was in November last year. And one of the sites they own is the hotel at Coogee. So they are rebranding it and making it...
As in the Coogee Hotel?
No, the Crown Plaza Hotel.
Yep. Okay, yep.
So they're rebranding it and making an intercontinental, and it will be unbelievable.
Oh,
they're doing the whole refurb at the moment. We were there a few weeks ago. It's fantastic. And then they had this big restaurant space it's on the ground floor, and they said to us, would you be interested? And we were like, oh, I don't know, because we looked at over the years, quite a few times, looking at doing a restaurant in Sydney, and it's a tough market and requires a lot of money and whatever. So we were like, oh no. Anyway, there was no pressure for them. They said, if you want to do it. And I said, you know what? Yes. And Rick goes, really? And I went, yes. I want another project. It's all about me. Anyway, he went, oh, okay. You know, and he was a bit nervous. And then, but the team, the people from Hosono Brothers, I can't tell you, we just all gel. Like literally we've been away together and done work things together and they're just fantastic. And then Andy North, who is an ex-chef and he is sort of the general manager on the food side. English guy, couldn't be nicer. And like when we met him, we thought this is just meant to be. So it's a big project. It's 224 seats. So it's a big restaurant.
It's big covers, yeah.
It's got a lovely view of Coogee. And it's just a team, like the people that are holding it in every aspect. It just, and I'm loving it because I'm learning so much. Because I sort of work for myself, I don't really work in an office, so it's just been nice to actually have a sort of been working with a team again. I'm really been enjoying that. And Kate, the designer, I've been working with her, and she's just a star. We're so lucky to have her. She's been doing restaurants for 40 years. She's just unassuming star. And we're going to have 2 private rooms. We're going to have a bar, a Sas bar. And yeah, it's going to be lovely. And it's going to be sort of a bit like the Bannisters restaurants as well. They're cash, but then if you want to be dressy, you can be dressy. But if you just, because we're getting people from the beach, so you can just come from the beach. So when we were doing the decor and the menus and everything, we'll have quite a diverse group of punters, because also we'll be having the people that are staying in the hotel.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And the interiors are beautiful.
Oh,
beautiful.
So excited to see it.
So we're doing it. We're working on it now, but the builders we've got are fantastic. Everything's running to schedule.
Ooh,
fingers crossed.
Cross fingers.
Yeah, it's been a bit crazy weather, as you know,
Yes, it sure has.
In Sydney. So the hotel will open in sort of late November, but they're going to have they're having like a pickleball court and an amazing club and all that, but that won't open until Feb. But we will be opening in December.
Oh.
And then we're having a big launch party in February.
Oh, so exciting.
Yeah, so we'll be open for summer. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I'm going to have, I'm a December baby and Rick's a January baby, so there might be a few birthday celebrations there.
Fantastic.
And we're going to be open for Christmas and New Year, and we're working on the menus now, so that'll be a fun place to have Christmas or New Year.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, that's so wonderful.
I know. Especially, I just like when things happen unexpectedly.
Yeah.
And that's really what's happened with all our restaurants with Bannisters. They just happen, which is really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, they came about in a way that with good people around them.
Yes.
Yeah, so good. Oh, Sas, it's been so good to talk to you.
Oh, so lovely to talk to you. And I can't believe all these. It's hilarious, isn't it?
It's crazy. Yeah, crazy, all the connections. I feel like I'm following you secretly, but I'm not. It's just, especially Darren having been in Mollymook as a child and you as a child as well. That's just...
So we must have friends in common then, if he's been going to Mollymook for ages, because I've got a little crew and they probably interconnect.
Yeah, there's bound to be some connections there, isn't there?
For sure. Oh, no, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed it.
Good. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Is there anything you'd like to say for any women that would like to get into the hospitality industry as we leave this podcast?
It's a great industry. It's you have to work hard, but I just think the people that you meet there, the opportunities that arise, you can work anywhere around the world. You can start from, I don't know, I was like, I was a cleaner, I was a housemaid. You can start, the world's your oyster, really. Yeah, I think hospitality is fantastic.
Yeah, thanks so much, Sas. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. I hope you've enjoyed the episode with the incredible Sas Stein. You can find them on Rick Stein. Just Google Rick Stein. You'll find. Just Google Rick Stein Australia, and you'll find him everywhere. So, but Bannisters is the hotel in Mollymook. Bannisters is the hotel in Port Stephens as well. And they seem to have made it fairly viral that they're opening up in Coogee already. I've seen it everywhere. So that is a good thing. There'll be a new restaurant in Coogee soon. Take care, guys. See you on the water soon. Hi everyone, thought I'd just jump in here and say thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate you doing so. Please share it with your friends, tell people about it, and give us a review. We'd really appreciate a review. We'd like to know what you'd like to hear about as well. You can connect with us on LinkedIn, Nikki Vo, the Boat Princess, and Instagram at the Boat Princess. If you'd like to get involved in some of our events, then contact us at info@theboatprincess.com or simply sign up for our newsletter at theboatprincess.com. You take care. We'll see you on the water soon. It's lovely to have you here. We appreciate you. The Boat Princess podcast is hosted by Nikki Vo, produced by the Boat Princess Media, and available anywhere you get your podcast.